Chapter 1. In a land far away, there was a beautiful town named Hamelin. It was near a big, wide river called the Weser. The town had lovely houses and friendly people. But there was one big problem: rats. Hamelin was plagued by an unwelcome guest. Rats. They were in the streets, houses, and shops. They ate the food, made noise, and caused trouble. Everyone in Hamelin was upset because of these rats. Chapter 2. The Rats Antics. Hamelin's streets were alive with more than just townsfolk. They were a playground for the most cunning rats you'd ever imagine. One sunny morning, something funny happened in the town square. The rats were putting on a show. One rat, perched on a tomato can, was selling stolen bits of cheese and bread taken from people's homes. Other rats, squeaking excitedly, traded buttons and beads like precious gems. Nearby, 2 rats tried to steal a pie. That was left to cool on a windowsill. This led to a comical chase with the baker waving his rolling pin at the mice. But the funniest sight was at the shoemaker's shop. A family of rats had built a tiny mansion inside a pair of boots. The shoemaker, instead of being angry, chuckled at their cleverness. The townspeople, too, couldn't help but laugh. "We might as well turn them into paying tenants," joked the shoemaker, making the crowd roar with laughter, because the idea of rats paying rent was so absurd yet funny. Chapter 3. The Mayor's Dilemma. Amidst the humor, the problem was serious. They desperately needed a solution. The mayor of the town, a kind man with a big hat, was very worried. He wanted to help the people and make the town a happy place again. But he didn't know how to solve the rat problem. Every day, people came to him and said, "Please, do something about the rats." But what could the mayor do? He thought and thought, but no good idea came to his mind. Chapter 4. The Arrival of the Pied Piper. Then one fine day, a strange man dressed in a coat of many vibrant colors arrived in Hamelin. He carried an ornate instrument, a flute. In the middle of the mayor's speech about the rats, the man approached him. The townspeople curiously watched and listened to their conversation. "I am the Pied Piper," he said. "I can make the rats go away." The mayor looked at him. "How can you do that?" he asked. Chapter 5. The Magical Solution. "With my magical flute, I will play it, and the rats will follow me out of Hamelin," the Pied Piper said. The mayor thought for a moment. "What do you want for doing this?" 1,000 gold coins after the rats are gone," the piper replied. Though expensive, he saw the suffering of his townspeople. He decided to agree. "Okay," the mayor said. "Remove the rats, and you will get your gold." The people felt a little hopeful. Chapter 6. The Departure of the Rats. The piper put the flute to his lips and started to play. The melody was marvelous and enchanting. Rats began to come out from everywhere: the houses, the streets, bakeries, shoe houses, and wherever they had been hiding. The townspeople watched in awe as the rats followed the Pied Piper. Playing the flute, the piper led the rats out of the town and into the Weser River. Reaching the water, the rats, unable to swim, disappeared. The town was finally rat-free. Cheers erupted as the overjoyed people celebrated their savior. The mayor smiled. "The Pied Piper did it," he said. "We must give him his gold." The people agreed. They were thankful. The Pied Piper came back to the town. He looked at the mayor. "The rats are gone," he said. "I kept my promise. Now it is your turn." The people waited. They wanted to see the mayor give the gold to the Pied Piper. Chapter 7. Broken Promise. When the piper demanded his promised gold, the greedy mayor had a change of heart. 1,000 coins is too much. You just played your flute. That seems easy. Why not take less? the mayor suggested. Feeling cheated, the piper reminded him of their deal. "We had a deal," he said. "I played my flute and removed the rats. You promised me 1,000 gold coins." But the mayor wouldn't budge. "How about 50 gold coins?" he offered. "That is still good pay for playing a flute." The townspeople, though uncomfortable, remained silent. The piper was now very angry. "We had a deal," he said. "You promised me 1,000." The townspeople started whispering. Some said, "He deserves the gold," while others agreed with the mayor. Maybe less is okay. But the mayor did not change his mind. 50 gold coins, take it or leave it," he said. The people watched, knowing it was unfair. The piper shook his head sadly. "Breaking promises is bad," he warned. He took his flute and left. Chapter 8. A Heavier Price. Next morning the town was peaceful, but they felt guilty. Then they heard music. It was the piper again, but this time the music was cheerful and catchy. The children ran towards the sound, unable to resist. They were happily danced to the music. "Come, children," he said with his music. The children followed him. The adults watched nervously. The grown-ups saw their children following Piper's music. "Where are they going?" they cried, worried. They chased after them, desperate to stop them. The Pied Piper led the children away from town, towards a tall, silent mountain. The music grew even louder, and the children danced and laughed, mesmerized. "Come back!" the parents cried, but their voices were lost in the melody. The children only heard the enchanting tune. Finally, the piper reached the mountain. Something strange happened. A hidden door appeared. The piper went in with the children. The door closed and vanished, gone forever, leaving only the smooth mountain face behind. The music stopped, and a heavy silence fell upon Hamelin. Desperate to find the door, the townspeople searched frantically, but it was like it had never been there. Chapter 9. The Aftermath. Grief filled the town. Parents wept for their lost children. The streets were empty of laughter and play. The joy of the town was gone with the children. The mayor and the people knew they had made a grave mistake. They remembered how they'd cheated the piper, and now they were paying a far steeper price. "We should have paid the piper," the mayor said. He was very sad, knowing it was his fault. Hamelin learned a painful lesson, the importance of keeping your word. They wished they could go back and change what they did, but it was too late. Meanwhile, the children found themselves in a magical land, a secret world with everything they could ever need. The piper's music had erased their memories of Hamelin, leaving them happy and carefree in this hidden paradise. The piper had a grander plan. He wasn't just taking revenge. He wanted Hamelin to truly understand the power of a promise. He thought of returning the children after a few years, giving the town time to learn and change. Chapter 10. Transformation and Uncertainty. Years passed. The piper secretly observed the townspeople and saw their change. Hamelin had learned its lesson. The town became kinder and more honest. The piper wondered if they would truly keep their promises, though. Deeply sorry for their greed, parents wished to make things right. The memory of the music stealing their children weighed heavy in their hearts, like a stone. They kept praying that their children were safe and hoped the piper would bring them back someday. Would he ever forgive them? This question hung like a dark shadow over Hamelin, an answer to which might never come.
To keep listening, I think you'll love this one, or this playlist. Do subscribe and give us a like. See you again soon.